Hello, for Pete's sake, and welcome to your deck review. For those of you joining us for the first time on YouTube, this is a series where I, Malthound, a known hater and yeller, will calmly and lovingly look at your commander deck's weird little PP. Your PP is your premise and your practicum. Your premise is the idea behind your deck. For this deck, it is Hogaak, Zombelf Ball. Your practicum is the stuff you put in the 99, presumably zombies and elves. But your esoterically, your premise is what you want the deck to do. Your practicum is what the deck actually does. So we're going to spend a few minutes talking about this person's idea, whether or not it's going to work in the bracket they want it to work in, and then we'll look at what they actually put in the deck and see what we can change there if their idea does not have to be compromised. So when I saw this primer, I pointedly did not do any once-over of the cards in the deck because I think there is a premise idea pretty early. He said zombies and elves to mill grave, play Hogaak early and sacrifice for big payoffs, play one of the mass recursion spells when graveyard full to flood the board. Now in the primer you submitted an intake form, you said issues we're having is one, I can't hide my power well. That one, I just want to disabuse you of the notion that you need to. This is never a commander that is going to little bean. Hogaak is big, he is scary, he is cast for no mana. There are a million ways to leverage having cast Hogaak into some type of either like combo line or just massive value play. That's not a bad thing, right? Some commanders need to little bean because they're weak, squishy. That's not you. You're strong and squishy in a creepy, unsettling kind of way. So with Hogaak, I would just accept if your deck is ever getting off the ground, you're the problem, and that's okay. But don't worry about trying to find a way to navigate this deck to not be the problem. In bracket 3, there may be times where you can politic and be like, okay, well, this is probably what I'm going to do with Hogaak. I don't think that's going to win the game. I think they're going to win the game on their turn. But unless you have somebody who you think is on the precipice of winning the game, when it comes to comparing the value plays that are going to be made, you're probably winning 9 times out of 10. So it's going to be hard to talk your way out of that. The problem I think we have, you talked about having trouble closing out games. The reason I think we're having trouble closing out games is because we're doing mass recursion and we're recurring dog shit. We're mixing two typals, which is oftentimes very rough. Like typal is a very well supported synergy in Magic, but they normally care a lot about themselves. So there's stuff that's going to buff your elves. There's stuff that's going to buff your zombies. There's almost nothing that's going to buff your zombies and your elves at the same time. So I could very easily see a world where, okay, we get Hogaak running early, we cast spells that capitalize on Hogaak, it's time for the big finisher, and I bring back like 5 2/2s that don't do anything of import, maybe 10 2/2s that can't win the game, and don't synergize well enough with each other to do the like, because I think a thing creature type enjoyers normally want to do is stack a number of like +1/+1 or keyword givers. So you go like, I've brought back 10 2/2s, but by the power of Petey fuckass and Samantha shitass, they're now 5/5s with first strike and trample, and that's how you win. And I think it's going to be, I would assume it's going to be incredibly difficult to do that with mixed typal. So if we go through this deck and it's like, we don't have any standalone threats, that's probably problem number one. If we don't have anything we can reanimate, where it's just like, yeah, independent of any support, independent of whatever else has happened this game, if I stick this, you are now in trouble. Reanimating really needs those guys, unless your mass reanimation is going to deliver an immediate combo or haste win. So let's give it a look. We have barely any interaction, very green of you. Sure, we're capitalizing on Hogaak's power. This one seems weird. This, maybe you opened this and it looked really pretty. This one seems weird to me. Oh, well, I guess we're going to be sticking a lot of creatures. No. Okay, I get it. We're going to be sticking a lot of creatures in the early game to mill to play Hogaak. Land retrieval. Sure, do we have any? This immediately worries me when you tell me about I'm gonna do zombies and elves, because when you tell me I'm gonna do zombies and elves, I'm like, you don't have anything to spend this mana on. You don't have. I don't believe you. Like we can fuck up a crater hoof in here. Maybe there's a few zombies or elves that will have a infinite mana outlet we can spend it all on. But normally, if someone's like, yeah, I'm gonna mill a ton of lands, then I'm gonna bring them all back, I expect to see some like 9 mana fuckos that we're spending that mana on. Zomb elves. Okay, true. This card is terrible though. True. This card does the opposite of what you want the deck to do, which worries me because he gets buffed for stuff in your yard and you want to pull everything out of your yard. He's just clean, okay. Just clean solid draw engine. All right, then we have a ton of zombies. No. 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 Okay. No. Hell yeah. Sure. Probably not, but he's cool and I like the show. Sure. Yeah. No. Okay. So I think here's another part of the problem is many of the zombies we have picked is just like anything that says mill. I think the line you probably want to try to draw is you don't want to be playing mill pieces like this that cost either more than 2 mana or require us to get combat damage through with a 1/1, because this means Fester Leech is only worth anything if we get it on turn 1. Right? I'm normally pretty forgiving about where you can get swings in bracket 3, but it's like we have this in anything but our opening hand. He's doing clean nothing, and this also makes sense why we can't close the games out, because we have a ton of zombies that are just like really bad and are meant to assist with the mill plan. But I think we got so tunneled on the mill plan, we forgot about needing to do anything else, like converting the mill plan to damage. So it's like, yeah, you could Patriarch's Bidding, bring all these zombies back. I was originally thinking that was going to be a little bit weak because people could board wipe you. I'm now like, oh, this is weak because like the thing other decks are doing is just better than having all 15 of these creatures on the board at the same time. They're just all like, we have nothing that creates an additive threat. We want something that is going to make the whole more than the sum of their parts, and that is normally anthems, that is things that give keywords, that is things that care about the number of a thing that you have, and we don't have any of that. We just have here is creature, ego mill, and then we have elves. This one's fine. Nope, too expensive again. Like if we're doing a thing that is meant to mill 3 to 4 cards for Hogaak, that thing should be 2 mana. If it is 3 or more mana, it should do something much better. Okay, yeah, I see this, because you pay 4 to sack Hogaak 1 time, and then you can turn him into 8 1/1s. So this would actually be great if we had what I think the deck. Wow, yeah, we don't have any. So the way to make this deck work without changing any of the things you currently like about it is you need to slam in some overruns. I think the deck could function a lot better if we moved away from the mixed zombie elf game plan, but you don't have to. You can continue playing these cards, but what you need is stuff that's just going to buff your whole board. The most boringest option is Craterhoof Behemoth. Another great option is Beastmaster Ascension. If you get a big wide board, you swing with the big wide board. That will put however many creatures you swung with worth of quest counters on the enchantment. It's probably going to be more than 7. Everything is +5/+5. Then that board of 15 zombies can win the game. There's a million other cards that can do this. I would suggest you go to Scryfall, look at the overrun tag, find things that you enjoy. So it's like Overwhelming Stampede. If I have Hogaak out, that's +8/+8. Uh, Trample and Infect would kind of work with the stuff that you have. Endray's Forerunners is like poor man's Crater Hoof. It's not nearly as good for your deck because it's only +2/+2. Pathbreaker Ibex is that overwhelming stampede but on a body, so it's going to give you +8/+8. What else we got? You are not alting Garuk. Don't even think about it. I mean, shit, dog. Come on. This is one of those, like, we're trying to get all our lands out. This is the type of card I would expect to see. Like, I would expect to see us spending the mid game. Okay, I'm going to churn my whole deck, bring them all back, and then I'm dropping Kamal over the top, and that's going to be how I get damage through to you. That's going to be how I win the game. That's only +1/+1. Rumbleweed, Jubilation. Jubilation might be really hot for you because you want to mill a lot, yes? Encore will make 3 Jubilations, which will give your whole board +6/+6 and trample. So because I haven't played the deck, I'm not sure exactly how good you are at getting through your library. I would expect it's pretty good because you have a lot of mill. So you may not have to run up to 10, but I would have probably like 4 to 6 overrun effects. I think that would make things a lot better just to start. I really don't like creature type based Mass Recursion. I really don't like it for this deck because we have split ourselves halfway. And as we put in these creature based overrun effects, none of them are going to share the right creature type either. So I think Living Death still works. I think Bringer of the Last Gift still works. Awakening Hall still works. We could do Rise of the Dark Realms, although I do think getting this deck to 9 mana is probably a little bit of copium, because what do we have to do to get this deck to 9 mana? We have to mill a lot to cast our commander. We have to delve stuff away to cast our commander, so either we're giving up the creatures we want to recur, or we're giving up the lands we want to recur. We get to draw a lot, though. Let me hit a little play test. See what happens. I don't like any of this ramp, quite frankly. I think this to me seems like the like pre-con-esque ramp building where you're like, ramp is good, mana's good, I have some expensive stuff, I should ramp, but I don't think it fits into our game plan well. Because like if we play a very specific thing about Hogaak, because you can't spend mana to cast him, playing a mana dork is useless unless you want to immediately transition it into a good value engine. So if we had good 3 or 4 mana plays, I would be more for it, but you're using ramp to turn on really bad 3 mana and really bad 4 mana plays. So I would either cut the ramp and just curve out, or I would be turning these bad 3 and 4 mana plays into some good ones. And if we have time, I'll talk about what some of those good ones could be. Right, let me just see how this looks. So opening hand, what do we have? We have a terrible 4 mana play. We have a rough 3 mana value engine. We have ramp that can't work for our commander and can't be played turn 1, and we have ramp that can only kind of work for our commander because it will put a land into the grave that we can delve away. We don't really want to do that though, because we do want to bring lands back from the graveyard. So I'm going to mulligan that hand. What's this hand got? 1 land. I'm going to mulligan this hand. Okay. So we have a mana dork. This does not help for our commander, but it could turn on a 3 mana value engine. Do we have one of those? Kind of. We don't have anything that gets lands in our grave, and we don't have anything else that mills. So I'm not a huge believer, but early ramp is almost never a bad thing, so let's try it. We go Elvish Mystic. What does this do? Okay, Funeral Room is worthless. Oh, beautiful. We got Evolving Wilds. Something's going to happen now. We're going to go Twilight Diviner. We get a Surveil 2. I'm going to put you in the graveyard because you're going to get shuffled away, because I sequenced this in a greedy way, and I was immediately punished for it. Gonna need to swamp his land for turn. And then we're getting close to Hogaak. Gonna do Evolving Wilds, land for turn. I have 3 cards in my graveyard. 2 creatures. I could have a 3rd creature on board. That gets me to 6. I'm still 2 mana short of Hogaak. God, Shamanic Revelation draw. Wow. We hit lands. That's amazing. That is amazing. Okay, see, like, this is good. This is great because it's 2 mana and I get 3 Hogaak mana. That's how we want to be, like, kind of breaking parity on the economics in our own head. Because we play them, they're 1 mana for Convoke, they're 2 mana for Delve. So we do this stuff, and now we have 6 things in the graveyard. I'm going to tap these 3. I'm going to go Exile, keep you, Exile, 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 Exile. I have Hogaak on turn 5. This is certainly not one of the more explosive starts. You talked about being able to get it like turn 3, turn 4. I believe that can happen, but I believe the deck has enough distracted stuff, enough inefficient stuff that it's not super reliable for that to happen. So we have Hogaak. What do we do with him? Stone cold nothing. Stone cold, no way to capitalize on this man. We have this, which doesn't do anything. We can Evolving Wilds from our Crucible. Tremendous. So it's like our mana situation's good too, but we don't have anything. We don't have anything worth it to spend it on. Okay, Night's Whisper. Okay, Greater Good. I would be down. Spent 6 mana doing this. Hogaak, go graveyard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now something should come together. I'm gonna discard this land. I'm gonna discard World Shaper. I'm gonna discard this Garruk's Uprising. Discard. Oh, it's just discard 3. Really like to not get to end step, so we're gonna pretend that I tapped correctly and got to play Stitcher's Supplier. Okay, Bringer of the Last Gift is now in the graveyard. But, like, we want to replay Hogaak. Okay. Alright. So seeing that in action, that further convinces me that we just have our eventual outputs are just too divorced from the way we get there. Like, the thing you want to have happen is I want to recur a ton of zombies and elves. This requires us to have a ton of zombies and elves in the graveyard. I don't see how we get that because we have to use the zombies and elves in the graveyard to get the Hogaak back out to do the things that we want to do, unless we do it on a very, very protracted timeline. Like, we could do all the things I wanted to do in that playtest without exiling a lot of our fuel, but to do it, we would have had to, like, wait an extra turn, which in bracket 3 can be a death sentence. Like, we don't have the interaction to stop anybody. We don't have a board that can really protect ourselves well because we don't want to. I think we would rather Convoke than Delve, because if we Delve them, the mass recursion plan is just straight out. So I would say anything you have in here that is meant to be, or, well, okay, it depends on if we're willing to abandon Typal or not. Because if we're not willing to abandon Typal, then I think it gets pretty tough. I think life gets a lot better if we abandon Typal, especially considering we've already abandoned Typal a little bit. But we're missing just a lot of, like, just stuff like this, just better mulch. Like, it's I know you're doing it right now because you're like, creature's good, they can Convoke for Hogaak. I think the bar you want to have is for 2 mana, I want to get 3 to 4 Hogaak mana. And if I'm spending more than 2 mana, it better give me a lot more Hogaak mana, or it better do something else that's really, really good. So, like, Twilight Diviner is a great example if I would keep it anyway. It gets you potentially 3 Hogaak mana, but it has that really good ceiling of being able to clone your reanimations. Grisly Salvage, 5 Hogaak mana for 2 mana. Because it's going to end up in the graveyard, it's going to be delvable, and you're going to get 4 other cards into your graveyard, and you're going to get your favorite thing into your hand. So the O tag for this is going to be Mulch, Commander, Golgari. So there's like 6. This is a tremendously good value engine. He's going to provide some Hogaak mana. He's going to let you recast the stuff that you want. Ripples of Undeath, one of the Stone Cold best draw engines in black. But these are the other guys I'm talking about. Where they're going to make you break from the Typal thing, but he's 4 Hogaak mana for 2 mana, and he's going to get you a land drop. So he's going to get you like your next normal mana. You can convoke with him, and you can delve the other three things you got rid of. Stuff like Mulch, stuff like Cache Grab, stuff like Barrogoyf. Because like it's difficult to see when you're just looking at the list, but when your curve is really heavy at 3 to 4, and you have a deck like this where you're trying to access a huge amount of the deck, having stuff that's on 2 mana versus 3 mana, world of difference. Because it's going to change how quickly can I cast 2 spells in a turn. And in a deck like this where you get access to so much of the deck, like casting 2 spells in a turn should be a regular occurrence. And as you get out to bigger mana values, maybe casting 3 spells in a turn should be a very regular occurrence. And if you have to spend 4 mana to cast that first one versus 2 mana to get practically the same effect, it's going to have a huge difference in how far your turns go. You have Ripples of Undeath. Kill me. I'm so sorry. Town Greeter's another great one. So it's like you have Midnight Tilling. I think we need to... Midnight Tilling is not... Actually, Midnight Tilling is kind of A+, because it's a fucking instant speed. But Midnight Tilling should be the rule, not the exception. Things that are more expensive than Midnight Tilling or do less than Midnight Tilling should be looked at with incredible scrutiny. And then I think you could probably do with 1 to 3 more ways to benefit from having your commander out, just so that we're more confident that we can like get 1 coming up every game. So other things that I think we're missing, because you're pretty basic heavy, is Traverse the Outlands. This is the type of thing where like you cast a spell once, now you're good on actual mana for the whole game. And if we get a lot of these more like efficient rip through my deck cards, you can just like chain fucking 5 of them together and do whatever you like. So there is that. Talked about overrun. And then I think the only other element that is missing is I would probably turn 1 or 2 of these creature type based reanimation. Like straight up, honestly, I would believe that the average opponent has 1 creature in a graveyard that is of a given creature type that out-threats your entire suite of zombies and out-threats your entire suite of elves. You could have maybe not 100% of them. You could have like 80% of either creature type in the graveyard. Cast Patriarch's Bidding. You name that creature type. They name their best individual bomb, and they come out on top for that exchange. Like you cast Patriarch's Bidding into me, I'm naming Moth. And I'm feeling like I won that exchange. So that is the thing we desperately need to fix. So to fix that, you either need to replace the Typal stuff with more individual bombs like Valgavoth, or we have to lean more heavily into I'm going to efficiently get through my whole library, and then I'm slamming Overrun if we still want to have a lot of like cheap and sexy creatures, which is totally fine. And the place I would probably back away on that a little, or the place I would probably back away from a little, is I would immediately cut Graveshifter. I would cut Jarad. I would cut Shamanic Revelation. I understand why you did it. I think you're better off having a thing that capitalizes on Hogaak specifically and draws you 8 for Hogaak, because we have like a million of those. There's Lifestream's Blessing. I think the O tag for that is Power Matters. Commander Golgari. You have Disciple of Bolas that is still on the bench. We have Ruthless Technomancer, who is still on the bench. There's Disciple of Bolas. There's Traverse the Outlands. Shit, Ouroboros would work, dog. You have a board full of dog shit. Ouroboros makes that not dog shit pretty quickly. And you could like, if I was to give an aside for flavor, number one, you could proxy this card if you're playing with friends. But if I were to give an aside to flavor, I would maybe think of this as like the Flood from Halo, if you want to do a zombie elf thing, because it's got that kind of like plant fungal nature in it. But this guy's great. This guy's great. I think 90% of your problems stem from trying to make it split typal. And if you really want to keep split typal, I would look through mulch for what can fit and go off of 2 mana gets me 4 Hogaak mana, and if it doesn't do that, I should look for removal. I should look for card draw, and then you get the overruns in, and we can try to like, and you can definitely shamble this across the finish line more games than not. It'll just be a little rickety, you know. So if anybody else has any other suggestions, let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I wish you the best. I do hope this helps.